I am an artist. I draw and paint things that other people cannot see. That is not always an easy thing to do because I often find myself creating elements I am not sure exist and perhaps some I wish did. Sometimes I create places I wish I could go. I paint emotions that I wish would go away or that I could better understand. I have not had the conventional formal training for this craft that I call my gift. Life has disciplined my artistic temperament. My educational training included art appreciation courses and studies of other cultures and their literary expressions.
I look a little crazy.
I observe what people wear, how they talk, how they express themselves through both verbal and nonverbal communication. I have both shunned and confronted their anxieties, have noted their brilliance, and have reacted to their ignorance. Sometimes these commitments to life cause me nightmares and sometimes dreams of pleasure. As an artist, the creative spirit sanctioned my methodology. Create to live.
When you're trying to stop.
There have been times that I did not have money to buy the supplies I needed to draw and to paint. Wow. I even remember when I did not know what materials to use. I was on my own and was somewhat afraid to ask other artists because I did not want to be discouraged by their arrogance. In my world of art, I could reign supreme. I could be free. My art could be as gruesome, as delicate, as revealing of the soul, as direct, as codified as I wanted it to be. Who could say what? Who could judge the master? Oh yes, the master. I knew God was moving my hands, my eyes, pumping my heart. The tears came too easily for me to deny this. There was a time I only painted mad demons, or dancers struggling to move. Those entities I painted and housed on large-scale canvases until one day someone in my life frightened my spirit so that I took a knife and hammer and destroyed them. Away to the trash they went.
Like that. You go through spells. I put on a scarf for you. I tried to do a little better. But this is me. This is my hair. This is what you get or not. Doesn't matter. And it does. Because sometimes we're always trying to be somebody else. Always trying to think like somebody else. Always trying to produce like somebody else. Always trying to record like somebody else. To taste what it is that somebody is trying to shove down our throats, down our hearts, down our minds, down our spirit. And I've just come to a point where I know who I am. I know I'm beautiful. Bedraggled. So you think, it's a character. It's a character indeed. I can be this and I can be that. But it's all about what you're trying to convey. And I'm preparing you for...
My creations are my friends. They understand me. Have seen my tears, my arguments, and the mental and physical abuse waged against me. Although there have been many times that I needed money and felt bankrupt 100 times over emotionally, spiritually, and financially, I have not minded keeping them around. I have opted not to become commercial. I will not say that it has not been a sacrifice. In some instances, it has been a great sacrifice.
And we'll see where it goes.
There have been those who have tried to plant their visions for my art on a small venue for a small audience. I see my art in Dubai. I have been asked to explain my art. I inform that I am a surrealist and an impressionist artist. That simply means that I do not touch the ground. As a surrealist, I represent the hard side of life. As an impressionist, a softer stroke is required, even if life's harshness is being represented. It has been difficult explaining my art because the history is so painful. I identify myself as the artist named Dove Eyes Healing Feather, or DEHF. I am deaf to the world, but my natural and spiritual eyes open to that which has no voice. I painted a piece that I titled Bodic Vocal Expression. That translated means that there is a sound so deep within our spirit that it can only be heard through sight or insight, another sense, another reality. The names I give my art come from a place of musical spheres echoing from ancient tribes, from babies waiting to be born. Those who have died left antidotes of survival for me to prescribe. Those who wait to be born plead for my seed to populate the earth, to nurture their freedom of expression. Sometimes I am plagued with the fear that I am far behind schedule. Prophets have told me that God holds me in his bosom and is carrying me to my place in time. The time is appointed. No one and no thing can occupy that space nor stop it from taking place. Form. What is it, I ask? How does nature find refuge in my creations? I do not think of myself as a realist landscape painter. My beaches, fields of hay, rainforests, grassy plains are paradisiacal, something far removed from the hand of man. My nature plains house spirits, ancient ones, minding and hiding in the shop. Nothing slips past. Music and dance have greatly influenced my work as a visual artist. Occasionally, I paint while listening to music. Generally, I like a quiet environment, but have learned over the years to shut out all types of noises and other emotional interruptions. Yeah. What about those emotional interruptions? I live with paintings everywhere. Prayer. Mother's flower garden. I'll take you home. Road to paradise. Self-portrait. Peace. The priesthood has changed. The smell, the sound, the talking of cats, the music of a genius. Interruptions are good. They keep you fluid. They unstop things that get stuck. Theater of Coda Perception, The Imperial Travels of Empress D, The Artist. My art is an expression of a lifestyle. This expression is manifested in clothing designs that have been described as costumes. They are the long, flowing, puffy garments I wear. My designs are reminiscent of 16th and 18th century European attire. I have been told that I look as though I am floating when I walk. Often my designs have been mistakenly categorized. They represent a mixture of culture, European, Asian, American Indian, and of course African. I am not limited in my look. Sometimes I dress exactly like where I was born and raised in Mount Gilead, North Carolina, USA. I can look like my mother who had a driving Miss Daisy persona. I can look like others in my hometown that dress Prada before Prada was Prada. Plaid and bright flowers with bulky pumps all on the same body. I often dress in black and have been mistaken for goth. I guess the piercings did not help persuading otherwise. I often wear black because it is not fussy, so easy. It is my uniform. In my artistic expressions, I use beads, shells, leather, wax, wire, fabric, and artifacts of nature to create images of life, dance, creations for wear and talismans. I sew artwork by hand, designing intricate beadwork that result in visions for the touch and movement for the spirit. I take from nature tree limbs, dirt, weeds, and rocks and mix them with other hand-sewn works of art to form an entire artistic concept. In every way, I try to allow myself to serve as God's canvas. He wears me like jewelry. During my time as caregiver here with my mother, I began working on a series I named the Zion Fine Arts Collection. My experience here at home with mother as caregiver was also reminiscent of a biblical Zionist trek. I was not able to get to the art shops for supplies, so one day I looked at a beer bottle a friend of mine had painted for me back in the 70s. Boredom set in, so I picked it up and repainted it.
That will make you
It then occurred to me to try another medium, paint on glass and clay. My whole life changed. Something in me became free.
To see if there's anything in there worth saving, if there's anything in there worth acknowledging. You want to know, huh? Well, there's so many stories that I could tell, but let me tell you, caregiving is one that is, what can I say about it? If you can't love, you can't do it. If you can't go to another level, if you can't look outside yourself and see that there is something a little bit more than your little ego, then don't do it. As a matter of fact, you can't be an artist unless you're a caregiver. You got to be a caregiver from your soul. You got to be a caregiver for the universe. You got to be a caregiver for cats, for people, for things, for butterflies, for rabbits, for deer. Oh, and let me tell you about those. We won't even get into that. But how can you even begin to feel what a hand is supposed to feel like? How can you even begin to understand the pure taste of water when your tongue is parched and you can't drink water anymore, when you have a hole in your belly, when you have a hole in your throat? Oh, we're talking about holes in the spirit. We're talking about holes in the mind, holes in the soul that need healing. And art is a way, let me tell you, while here caregiving with Mother, I was able to pull out the cobwebs of deceit, the cobwebs of self-righteousness, the cobwebs of not even beginning to understand what the universe is all about. It's about spirit, and that's what art is about. Art is about spirit. Art is about being able to move outside of the realm of the thing that you're trying to create and to become much more beyond the thing that is being created. That's God. That's who God is. He is not the thing created. He is... What am I talking about? How can my mouth even begin to describe? I can't even describe my own art. How can I begin to describe who He is? But then, that means that there's a part of me that is spirit that also is God. For He called me God in the Bible. He said that we are kings and sons of God and that we are gods. Not to be worshipped, not to be idolized. Your gift is not to be idolized. Your gift is to be placed into the hands of little children. Your art is to be placed into the hands of someone dying, someone who can't smell anymore, someone who can't touch anymore, someone who can't taste anymore, someone who can't love anymore, someone who can't make love anymore. That's what art is. Oh, well, go search, go find.
Jai Radha Madhava, Jai Kunja Vihari, Jai Radha Madhava, Jai Kunja Vihari, Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha, Jai Giri Balihari, Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha, Jai Giri Balihari. Jai